Hello again, vinyl community. As promised, this is a video about my 12-inch singles. I'll go through them all real quick. It's mostly 90s dance and club type of music. There's quite a bit of 80s in here too, a couple of 70s singles. And yeah, I really like 90s dance music actually. I grew up with it to a certain extent. I was a teenager in the 90s and definitely went through a phase where I was really into stuff like Culture Beat and KLF and stuff like that. So alright, let's go through all the 12-inch singles. 2 Unlimited, Twilight Zone. 2 Unlimited, No Limit. The Commissar, After the Fire. That's classic 80s right there. Animotion, Obsession. More vintage 80s. Bizarre Inc. featuring Angie Brown, I'm Gonna Get You. This also has a couple of versions of Playing with Knives on it too, so that's kind of cool. Blondie, Rapture. You'll notice quite a few of the 12-inch singles have like the beats per minute on them, and that's because these all came from the same seller. I bought them at a Goodwill, but I got there shortly after somebody had dropped off their entire DJ collection, so I picked up a bunch of stuff. Okay, Bobby Brown, Rock With You. Bose, RoboCop. I didn't know anything about this. I picked it up at a Savers thrift store a few months ago, and it's kind of interesting. It has samples from the RoboCop movie on it. It's kind of a weird track, but it's not bad. Okay, Brandy and Monica, The Boy Is Mine, Don't Judge. It's actually not a bad song, and it was a pretty big hit back in the day. And again, this came from the same Goodwill, same seller, so it was in good condition, and I got a good deal on it too. It definitely helps to get to know people in the thrift stores, whether that's the people working at the front or the people dealing with the inventory out the back. In this case, this is a Goodwill that I go to fairly often, at least a couple of times a month, and I kind of got to know the lady that worked in there a little bit, and so she would give me deals, and several times she held back boxes of records for me that were waiting to be put out, but she knew I might be going in there, so she held on to them and waited for me to go in. So the deal I got for a lot of these DJ singles was pretty good. I think I got I think it was like 27 of them for like $20. So it's really not bad, especially for a Goodwill. Goodwill are jacking up their prices right now. Okay, moving on with the 12-inch singles. We have Brothers in Rhythm, Such a Good Feeling. Next we have one of my all-time favorite, I guess it's house music, one of my favorite songs of the 80s, Black Box, Right on Time. Bruce Springsteen, Dancing in the Dark. CNC Music Factory, Gonna Make You Sweat. And it still has the Shrink and the Hype sticker on it. Actually, you know what? This was one of the first records I ever bought when I got back into vinyl, or when I got back into vinyl in the mid-2000s, when I got the first record player that I'd had in a long time. And I went to a Goodwill, or a few Goodwills, and bought several records. It didn't turn into a hobby until a couple of years ago, but this was one of the first ones I found. And this was before Goodwill really started jacking up the price of vinyl, so I probably got it for like $1 or something. Okay, The Cars, You Might Think. Next we have CC Peniston, Finally. That's real classic early 90s dance music. This one I picked up at one of my local record stores called Zoinks. It's in Pomona, California. I kind of like it. It's very small. I find that the inventory doesn't change too much, but they do have some pretty good deals sometimes. and they have a dollar section, which is nice. Not all record stores have them. And yeah, this is this is a disco version of California Dreaming by a band named Colorado. It's from the late 70s, I think. And it's on blue vinyl, which you can kind of see on the camera here. And I picked it up for $1. Thought I'd give it a try, and you know what? It's really not bad. I thought I couldn't go wrong for $1, right? Okay, moving on with the 12 inches. Communards, don't leave me this way. Crystal Waters, 100% pure love. Curiosity Killed the Cat, Ordinary Day. Japanese pressing with the obi right there. Dan Hartman, Instant Replay. This is a pretty recent acquisition from the Goodwill I mentioned that I go to a couple of times a month. I didn't get any special deal for this because I only bought a couple of records. Next we have the Daz Band, Let It All Blow. Destiny's Child, No No No. Diana Ross, Chain Reaction. D-Mob featuring Kathy Dennis, Come On and Get My Love. I have the D-Mob album that this is on to. Donna Summer, MacArthur Park, and the B-side is Last Dance. So that's kind of cool. Eminem, The Real Slim Shady. Erasure, Ola Moore. The Escape Club, Wild Wild West. Again, this is another pretty recent purchase. I got this one from the other record store I mentioned in my last video, Rhino Records. And I think this was $1.99. Okay, moving on, we have Eurythmics, The Miracle of Love. This is Eve featuring Gwen Stefani, Let Me Blow Your Mind. Expose, Point of No Return. Really good song. If you're into synth pop, any kind of synth pop stuff from the 80s, I would recommend this. It's a really good song. Sounds great on vinyl. Okay, next we have Freeze, IOU. I just got this a couple of weeks ago. This is from a pawn shop, and I think it was 2 records for $5, so $2.50. Next we have George Duke, I Am For Real, May the Funk Be With You. I don't remember how I got this. I want to say it might have been part of an eBay lot. Yeah, I didn't know much about it, but it's alright. Okay, I have some more records here. I'm just bringing forward here. Okay, this is Lost Salute, Getting the Fear. This also came from Zoinks Records several months ago. I didn't know anything about it, but I loved the artwork on it. Isn't that cool? It turns out it's sort of a weird synth pop meets goth. It's really unique, and it's not bad. And it was only $1, and like I said, I like the artwork a lot. For $1, you couldn't go wrong. Okay, next up we have Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. It's Nasty. Hazel Dean, Searchin', I Gotta Find a Man. Herbie Hancock, Rocket. High Tech 3 featuring Yaki K, Spin That Wheel. This was from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie from 1990. And I'm pretty sure High Tech 3 was Technotronic. It was the same thing. They just call themselves High Tech 3 for whatever reason. Next we have Hit House, Jack to the Sound of the Underground. Classic house music. Edie Kamosi, Here Comes the Hot Stepper, from the mid-90s. Janet Jackson, Together Again. Janet Jackson, Got Till It's Gone. And Janet Jackson, All For You. Okay. Next up, we have three 12-inch singles by Jive Bunny and the Master Mixers. Funnily enough, these are all US pressings, but Jive Bunny for about a year or so, were huge in the UK. They were a couple of DJs. I think one of them was Andy Pickles and Andy Pickles and Les Hemstock, and they took samples of older songs and mixed them. It's kind of like Star Sound, Stars and 45, if you're familiar with that, and it's okay. I mean, I got it for the nostalgia. I remember when this was #1 in 1989 in the UK, and the funny thing is, a lot of the times they couldn't get permission to use the original versions of samples, so they would have the artist come in and re-record their vocals. I think Chubby Checker might have been one who came in and actually re-recorded his vocals to the twist and Let's Twist Again, and then they could use it, right? So that record we had just there was Swing the Mood by Jive Bunny. That was the #1, their first single. This was their follow-up single, That's What I Like. This was also a #1. I actually did used to have this when I was a kid, and when I was 10 years old, I had the 12-inch single just like this. This is not the same one, of course. This is one I bought recently. Next we have Jive Bunny, Can You Party? Not quite such a big hit. This is a German pressing. I think I got it off Discogs with some other records. Okay, moving on, we have Joe Cocker, Unchain My Heart. Pretty good song. I like Joe Cocker. Joyce Fenderella, what is this? Oh, Joyce Fenderella Irby, Mr. DJ. I don't know too much about this. I think it was a minor hit in the US. I got this as part of an eBay lot. Casey and the Sunshine Band, Mega Mix, the official bootleg. This also came from that Goodwill store that had the DJ lot. Kelly Marie, Feels Like I'm in Love. There's actually 2 versions of this in here. I think one is a UK pressing, made in England. The other one is a US pressing. This came from the Mad Platter record store in Riverside, California. And when I took it up to the front, I said to the guy, there's 2 records in here, I don't think it's supposed to be. And he's like, it's fine, just leave them both in there. So I said, sure. So for some reason, I have 2 copies of that. Next up, we have the KLF, America, What Time Is Love and America, What Time Is Love. It has both versions on here. That's the only KLF record I have. I'd like to get the album, The White Room. It's extremely expensive. It goes for quite a bit of money on eBay. And honestly, it would be cheaper to buy the singles from it. Next we have Koto, Visitors. Amazing synth pop song from the 80s. Really recommend you check it out. The 12-inch single tends to go for quite a bit of money. It's not uncommon for it to go for around $20. This is a German pressing. I'm not even sure if there was a US pressing, but this is from Germany. This was from eBay. It was a really weird transaction because the record didn't show up for weeks, I don't know, like 7 weeks or something, and I had filed a claim with eBay, and they refunded my money within a day. And then a couple of weeks later, it suddenly showed up right out of the blue. It was mailed in like November 20th or something, and I got it end of January. I've only had it a couple of weeks, and it just turned up. And so I emailed the guy and said, hey, when I got my refund from eBay, did they take it from you or did they just give me the money? He said no, they took it from him. So I said, okay, well, I'll pay you the money back then, because I did receive the record. So I think it was seven and a half euros, whatever that equates to in dollars. I don't want to say it was $8 or $9 in dollars. Okay, moving on, we have Curtis Blow, The Breaks. This is a '94 remix, which I actually prefer to the original. La Bouche, I don't know how you pronounce it, but Be My Lover from the mid-90s. Live in Joy, Don't Stop Moving. This is, I think, a US version. I got it here in the US fairly recently, and but it was like a top 10 in the UK. And maybe here too. I don't know. Mars, Pump Up the Volume. Gotta have it. That's classic sort of early-ish sampling and house music right there. I have the 7-inch single of that too. Although, to be honest with you, that's the US pressing, and the 7-inch version I have is also the US version. And I don't think it's anywhere near as good as the UK mix. There's different samples used, but of course I grew up with the UK version. I was like 8 years old when it came out, when I was a kid. And so maybe it's nostalgia telling me that the UK version's better. I don't know. Okay, this is Marvin Hamlish. This is the Bond 77 James Bond theme. This is from The Spy Who Loved Me. Found this in the Goodwill one day. Had to have it because I'm a big James Bond fan, but also I like the Spy Who Loved Me soundtrack, and The Spy Who Loved Me is in my top 3 favorite Bond movies. If you want an example of how good vinyl can sound, check it out. It sounds amazing, especially the intro to the song when this when the beat starts going and you get the classic Bond theme music overlaid on top of it. It really kind of takes you back. It sounds terrific. Okay, next up, Moni Love, Born to Bleed. Murray Head, One Night in Bangkok. Nightcrawlers, Push the Feeling On. Nomad, featuring MC Mikey Freedom, I Want to Give You Devotion. Offshore, I Can't Take the Power. Not one of the better known songs. Much better known from them would be like Saltwater, and shoot, what's the one they did in the early 90s? Well, it'll come to me, but it's not a bad track though. I Can't Take the Power. It's not the best, but it's okay. Let's see. The original, I Love You Baby. UK #1 in 1995. Patrice Rushen, Forget Me Nots. Pepsi and Shirley, Heartache. I showed the 7-inch version of another track of theirs I have yesterday, Goodbye Stranger. Heartache's probably the better song though. Okay, Pet Shop Boys, New York City Boy. This isn't in great condition. It's got the label's like misaligned slightly, so it kind of goes over a little too much onto the dead wax. So you got to be careful when you're not to let the needle run to the end of the rector. Next up we have Peter Brown, Crank It Up. Kind of a disco funk song from the late 70s. Real Life, Send Me an Angel, 89. Real McCoy, Runaway. The Rebel MC featuring Double Trouble, Street Tough. Right Said Fred, Deeply Dippy. This was sealed when I got it. Again, this came from Zoinks, $3, or at least so the price label's telling me. Another pretty recent acquisition in the last 2 or 3 months. Okay, Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock, It Takes Two. Rosala, Everybody's Free to Feel Good. Yeah, I told you there was a lot of 90s dance stuff in it. Okay, back to the 80s. Rockwell, Somebody's Watching Me. Salt and Pepper, Tramp. It also has Push It on the B-side. This is on really nice red vinyl. Salt and Pepper with En Vogue, What a Man. Santana, Maria Maria. Another song that sounds really good on vinyl, actually. Shannon, Let the Music Play. Oh, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, I know, but ZZ Sputnik, Love Missile F111 or F12, or I don't know. I knew it was a song from the 80s. I'd heard of it. I think I'd heard it on compilation albums. It was cheap, so I got it, and you know, it's pretty good. Cisco, Thong Song. What can I say? Moment of weakness. Snap, Mary Had a Little Boy. Snap, Rhythm is a Dancer. classic. Gotta have that. Snap, Exterminate. Soho, Hippie Chick. Spania, Call Me. I hunted for this for quite a while. It's a nostalgic childhood song. It was a top 5 hit in the UK in 1987. It's a really good pop song. Really good. And that's a UK pressing. Taffy, I Love My Radio. I think this is a US pressing. Yeah, the A side has the USA mix on it, the B side has a European mix on it. One of my favorite pop songs of the 80s. Thompson Twins, Hold Me Now. TLC, Creep. Trans-X, Living on Video. Really excellent 80s synth pop song. Wang Chung, Dancehall Days. I think this is a Japanese pressing, maybe. I don't remember. I thought it was, maybe not. Wang Chung, Everybody Have Fun Tonight. Yeah. Was Not Was, Walk the Dinosaur. Was Not Was, Spy in the House of Love. When in Rome, The Promise. I have the 7-inch version of that too. In fact, I don't even think I've listened to the 12-inch one, to be honest with you. Yeah. But oh, you know what? This came from that pawn shop I mentioned, where I also got Freeze IOU recently. And yeah, I thought, you know, I can't pass this up for $2.50. It's a really, really great 80s track. Okay, just 2 left. Wyclef Jean, Gone Till November. And last but not least, definitely not least, Ecstasy, Dear God. Really underrated song. Ecstasy were kind of quirky. Dear God's a quirky song. It has a really strange arrangement to it. And it's, well, you may not want to listen to it if you're religiously inclined. It's maybe a little controversial, but yeah, it's a really great song. So, well, that's it. That's all of the 80s, I'm sorry, all of the 12-inch singles that I have from the 80s and 90s. And I figure there's probably maybe 80 or 90 right there, so not bad. I don't intend to get too many more, but you never know what you might find when you're thrifting or when you're digging. I went through a phase where I was buying quite a few of them. But yeah, I think I'm close to maxed out on those, unless I find something I really, really want, but I'm not really hunting for them. Okay, well, thanks for watching. I think next video I will, geez, I don't know. I got a few different topics lined up. I might go through some of my cassettes. I have a few 8-tracks. I have a bunch of the original UK Now That's Right Good Music albums, one of which is playing right now, actually. I have Beatles albums, a whole bunch of stuff I might go through. I don't really want to go through my entire record collection because, believe me, it's pretty modest compared to some people's, but I probably do have, there must be 500 albums, so that would be a pretty long video. So I'll do them in chunks or by topic, like I said. I'll do the Beatles, maybe another video on, I don't know, the Eagles or Elton John or other artists that I have quite a few albums from. Yeah, so until next time, thank you for watching, and yeah, please leave comments. I have had a few comments to some of my videos, which I greatly appreciate. Quick shout out to Leo. He's commented on several videos, and he's also a new YouTube member who started posting videos just recently. So yeah, thanks guys. See you soon.